Hello. It's been a while. Hello. I haven't done this in forever. Well, I guess. Better late than never, I guess. Hello. My name is Carter, and welcome back. This is the Booth Review Podcast. I'm back. Who knew? It's been a while, man. School and life. I don't even remember why. I think I stopped doing it in the first place because I was sick. And then I got really busy, and then life kind of got in the way. But I'm back now. I am back now. So still trying to get back used to it. I don't really remember how to talk to this black box. But I'm back, looking to reinstate the Booth Review Podcast. I was trying to get back in the swing of things. Since I missed all of football season because school is crazy, I thought, well, I at least should still talk about college football. So that's what I'm here to do. And that is talk about college football. And yeah, I could talk about LeBron James' latest dunk or, whatever's going on in soccer that I'm not following at all. But I just don't really care. I care about football. And so that's what I'm going to talk about. And of course, I want to make some changes. And I'm always going to be making changes to this show while I'm trying to make it what I want it to be. I don't really know what that is yet, but I'm trying. I realized I haven't done this in forever, and I realized that I really, really love it. And I miss it. And I really just enjoy producing it. So I'm going to change some things, and I'll be messing with some stuff and making a couple changes here and there and trying to make it what I envision it in my head. And I don't really know what that is yet. But we're going to get there. We're going to get there. So anyways, what are we going to do today? Well, college football regular season is the Army-Navy game, but the regular season's over, right? Let's do an awards show. They're handing out the Heisman this weekend. I'll hand out my own. So I have 13 awards on this list here, and I'm going to give them all out. And it's going to be great fun. So let's, without any further ado, the College Football Carter Gustin Awards Ceremony. All right, well, up first, the first award to give out is not one you want to win, but it is an award nonetheless. And I have all the stats here to make sure I got all the stats right here on my computer. But the first award is what I'm going to call a participation trophy. And that goes to a team throughout the regular season. If you kept up with my show on the radio, I do on school, on WGL, you probably know what this team is. Participation trophy goes to the Tennessee Volunteers. What's the word? They sucked. Bad. 8-4. 8-4. Wins against no notable team at all. Of course, the best teams they played, they lost to, but the big one lost to in-state rival Vanderbilt. How do you lose to Vanderbilt? This is a team that was predicted to go to the college football playoff. Vanderbilt? Oh, God. Now, granted, their starting running back did transfer, but they finished 62nd in passing yards. That's great. 43rd in rushing yards. Good job. 25th in points for. That's the best stat they have. And 73rd in points against. Now, they won games for no inherent value that they bring to any game, but they still managed to win some. Ohio, App State, took overtime against App State, even Miami, who probably would have been the second team in second place in winning this award. I almost gave it to them, Miami even beat App State bad. And they did that on the road. I mean, granted, that's not the toughest stadium to play in. But still, come on, Tennessee, man. Oh, God. Oh, they returned like 18 of their 22 starters. Ooh, not good. Not good. Participation trophy. Not the one you want to win, but Tennessee, congrats. Being the first one awarded on the Carter Gustin Booth Review Podcast College Football Award Ceremony. Participation trophy, Tennessee Volunteers. All right, well, up next on my award ceremony is Most Surprising Player. And this was a tough one. I had to think about it for a while. There were some potential winners. Christian McCaffrey being one of them, almost surprising in a bad way. Almost won that one. But I was really thinking about it, and who surprised me the most, and it pains me to say it. It does, but I'm honest. I am a sports connoisseur, and I can turn off the old fandom for a moment to see that the most surprising player for me, Jalen Hurts, freshman quarterback, Alabama Crimson Tide, at this point has led his team to an undefeated season and done it almost, I don't say flawlessly, because there have been mistakes. There have been times he looked like a freshman, but he has played incredible. And he's a freshman in the SEC, and he kept their team at number one the entire season. I don't think he's Heisman material. I don't really see that yet. I think he could potentially win the Heisman, but I don't think he's there yet. But regardless, what he's been doing there is very impressive, and I think I was very surprised. I was not expecting. Heck, he didn't even start the first game. I did not expect him to be the starter this year, and I did not expect him to play as well as he did. So for me, he is the most surprising player in the college football season this year. So Jalen Hurts, good job, congratulations. You don't get anything if you win. I'm sorry, but good job. All right. Well, up next on the Booth Review Podcast award ceremony, college football award ceremony, is the most surprising team for me. Most surprising team. And that's a difficult one because there are some things that surprised me. Of course, again, on this list would be a couple teams. One I was going to name, but actually they're going to get an award later, so I'm just going to keep them off the list. I'll mention which team it was when I get there. But for me, I think surprising, when I think surprising team, I think surprising in a good way, not surprising in a bad way. So I was like, what team surprised me in a good way? And of course, that's Penn State, just barely missing out on the playoffs this year, but putting together one heck of a season, winning their conference, which is, I would say, at least this season, the toughest one to win, with four teams, Penn State included, making a case for the playoff. You know, Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, and Wisconsin all being there, and Penn State beating two of those teams in Wisconsin and Ohio State. After the Ohio State win, I did not know if that was a fluke or not, but after beating Wisconsin, especially in the way they did, that's a for real team, and I'm surprised. Not because they should. I don't know. They just shouldn't be that good, but they are for whatever reason. I think a lot of that is due to coaching. You saw what he did at Vanderbilt, able to make them into a pretty decent team, and look where they are now after he left. Franklin, that being, but being at Penn State and to do that in as little time as he's been there, with the obvious hindrance against him, I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed, very surprised, pleasantly surprised. I think college football is better when Penn State is relevant. I think that's definitely a case. And that case can be made for several teams, Notre Dame, USC. I just think college football is better when those teams are relevant. Penn State is one of the teams that just needs to be relevant for college football to be cool, I think. And they're there. I almost said they're getting there. They are there. And how long they can keep this up is beyond me, but they're finally going to get back to full scholarship strength now. Those sanctions are up, and they're back to just being a football team. and competing on Saturdays every day. And it's a cool place to play. It's a great coaching staff. And I think they've done something great there. And I can't believe I'm going to say this. I think that's a playoff contender next year as well. I'm very impressed with what they have done all season. And to do it with one arm tied behind their backs like they have for the last few years is just even more incredible. So, most surprising team, the Penn State Nittany Lions, just barely missing out on the playoff this year. But what an incredible thing that was. All right, well, up next is the biggest letdown. Not an award you want to win, the biggest letdown. And this was the team I was mentioning about the most surprising team that I almost had winning it. But the biggest letdown would be the Michigan State Spartans. Ugh. Well, I mean, what a rough year. I don't really know where to start. So I'll start with the big one is as bowl season comes around, you'll see many teams play in bowls. Michigan State won't be one of them, and I think that's a big thing for them. Michigan State, I mean, just a few years removed from the championship game in that conference. Now not even bowling, not having any signature wins, and they even competed against Ohio State and Michigan for that matter for a little bit. And I think they're better than what they showed on the field. But that's what they show on the field, so that's what they are. And what they were this year was awful. And as a fan base and as a university, I know that's disappointing. And not all of it is to blame on the coaching. They had a lot of players leave. And there's just a big gap. There's a big gap to fill. And not to mention that there's a big gap to fill at a terrible time when Michigan, Ohio State, turns out Penn State and Wisconsin were all getting better. And that's just the very top. I mean, the whole conference got better this year. And Penn State increased the gap so much that Michigan State, with that big gap to fill, it was bad. It's a big disappointment. Did I think they're going to be good this year? No, but oh gosh, not good, man, really bad. So that was very disappointing. But also honorable mention in this category, very similar boat would be Oregon. Honorable mention though, also won't be playing during bowl season, so not a good time for either one of those programs. Not at all. All right, moving right along with the awards. Next on the list is the biggest winner of the season, and interesting direction I went with this one. I think the biggest winner would be Coach O, getting the nod, getting the head coaching job at LSU, now the head coach of the Bayou Bengals, a Bayou man himself, ever the bridesmaid, never the bride, it seemed like, being interim coach everywhere. Having more wins as an interim coach than a head coach, finally getting another chance at the head coaching job in the SEC, at his dream job, of course, I'm sure, at LSU. I think it's a match made in heaven. Coach O, for whatever reason, has a special place in my heart, and I think that him getting the coaching job there is really incredible. I think it's a great job. I think he's a good fit, and I think he's going to take that program in a good direction. So, biggest winner, Coach O, LSU. I think they got a gem in Coach O. He says he's learned a lot from his failed attempt at Ole Miss and then interim coaching and doing a great job at USC. They should have hired him there, but they didn't. LSU, interim coaching again, improving that team a lot. Of course, you'd like to have seen them beat Florida on the goal line there. And also, I mean, heck, they competed better against Alabama than anybody else has this season, I would say. So both those under his tenure there at LSU. So I think that's a great opportunity for him, and I think he's really going to take it and run with it. So I'm very excited for Coach O. I'm not going to be excited to play him every year, but I'm very excited for him. So biggest winner, Coach O, LSU. Go Tigers, man. Go Tigers. All right, moving right along with the show. I got a lot of things going on. First, I got my computer. My phone just keeps buzzing. I don't know why. I'm not checking it. I'm just gonna. Now it's off. My phone is there. I got this. I got lights. I got new lights in my room. So a lot of things going on. So I'm trying to stay focused here. Next up on the list is the biggest disappointment. Also not a one you want to win. Biggest disappointment: Christian McCaffrey, Stanford running back. Stanford with a T, mind you. Being in Alabama, you got to be careful. Yes, Stanford, very close to Stanford with the T. The Stanford Cardinal running back Christian McCaffrey. Going into the season, I think it was his Heisman to lose, and boy, did he lose it. The whole team, I think Stanford just having a bad year this year did not help him. But the electricity wasn't there. And being in the Pac-12 on the West Coast, you get attention. You have to have those highlight plays, those big games, those crazy, gaudy numbers, which he seemed to be able to get better than anybody else ever, because he did better than anybody else ever. And this year he didn't. You didn't hear his name on Sunday because it had to be on Sunday because it was after midnight here. So it was on Sunday when they were playing. You didn't hear his name in the headlines. He's not in the Heisman competition. Stanford's not being talked about. He's just kind of dropped off the face of the earth. It's disappointing because I like Christian McCaffrey. I think it was just such an incredible player, and in an age and time where you don't do what he does, you don't play multiple positions. He was last year the best kick returner, the best punt returner, the best slot receiver, the best running back. And I'm sure if he did more, he would be great at that too. And you don't do that. You don't see that anymore. You don't see the multi-position. I mean, he was as good as a slot receiver as he was a running back, as he was a return man. And you don't see the versatility anymore in college football and the NFL. You just don't see it anymore. And the fact that he was able to do it at such a high level so consistently was incredible. I think it was his Heisman to lose this year, and he just didn't. It just didn't happen. For whatever reason, it was a bad year for him, bad year for the team. And I was excited because I thought this was going to be the year he's going to do it. I think it's a shame and tragedy he didn't win it last year. I think it's more of a tragedy he won it last year because of what happened this year, and it didn't happen. You know, I would have liked to seen him win it. So I think disappointment, not I don't think it's anybody's fault why they did so bad this year. Just it's not good. I wished he would have done better this year. I wish the team would have done better this year, but I wished he'd done better this year. All right, moving right along, the next award to be giving out, getting into the bigger end of the year, just good awards. No more bad awards. Yeah, no more bad awards on this list. Only good from here on out, which is good news for players hoping to win something good. Next on the list is best offense. The best offense. I thought that was a good one to have this year, and I don't think it's going to be a surprise who it is. The Louisville Cardinal. Wow. Lamar Jackson, 51 touchdowns. Let me make sure that's right. That is, yes, 51 touchdowns on the year. The Cardinal had a great offense, 14th in passing yards, 11th in rushing yards, and 1st in points for on the season. You don't usually see teams that high in both or all three categories. A good rushing team, Auburn, for instance, is really, really high in rush yards per game. But they're really, really low in pass yards per game because they run so much. Louisville does both at a very, very, very explosive clip, and they score a lot of points. Lamar Jackson, of course, it's just like video game stats. It's stupid. It's best offense. I mean, what a juggernaut. Yeah, they did kind of fall apart at the end of the year. So the fact these numbers are still as high as they are with how bad they performed the last couple weeks of the season is something even more incredible, I think, because you can take a couple games off the board, really, with especially the performance against Kentucky, just atrocious. So offense of the year, Louisville, wow. I mean, it was like watching a video game. It really was. It was incredible what they did this year. Well, natural progression from the best offense, best defense. Also, shockingly, the hardest one for me to figure out which one it was, because defense is just not a glorious stat. So I went with my gut. I'm sure you can guess. Alabama. Let me get the stats for you, because they are gaudy. They are number one defense as far as efficiency is concerned. Number 3 in sacks. Number 1 against the rush. A little bit further down on the pass, 25th. Total off a defense, they are 3rd. And then total points against, they are number 1 in the nation. Just so good in so many aspects. Something you expect from Nick Saban, coach team. Of course, this team, not defensively coordinated anyways by Kirby Smart this year, first year in a while. He has not been there. Of course, he's at Georgia now. What a year. Really no drop-off for Alabama, led by some new names, as always. Reuben Foster has really become a great power at linebacker for them, just as fast as he is strong and big. What an incredible player he is. And a defense that has been attacking, and for an Alabama team, and don't get me wrong, to go undefeated in a single season is absolutely incredible and almost impossible this day and age. But an Alabama team, and Nick Saban usually has teams that are, by my standard, perfect. They don't make mistakes. This Alabama team does make mistakes, but they're bailed out constantly by their defense. Offensively, they turn the ball over a fair amount, but defensively, they score so many points off the defense. They score so many points off turnovers. And if it wasn't for their defense being as great as it was, they would not be undefeated. I think they'd have 2, maybe even 3 losses on the season if their defense wasn't as good. Those being LSU would probably be a loss if their defense wasn't as good as it is. Ole Miss would probably also be a loss if their defense wasn't as good as it is. And I'm sure there's more. Their defense is so good they shut teams completely down. The Iron Bowl, Auburn had 30 yards at halftime. USC never recovered from what they did to them in week 1. Like, defense, it's just brutal. They're so big and they're so fast. Oh, gosh. It's incredible. I don't know how they do it every year, but Defense of the Year goes to Alabama, and that's probably would be like the 3rd or 4th year they would have won it. Like, they're just that good. Always that good. All right, moving right along to Game of the Year. Game of the Year. This one was a tough one. It really was. I wanted to say the Ohio State-Michigan game was the Game of the Year, but just the way it ended with bad officiating, I just didn't like that. So that one might have been in if it wasn't for an ending on bad officiating. Game of the Year, though, I'm going to stick in the SEC and go Alabama LSU. What an old school, just gritty, mean, punch you in the mouth game. Alabama just squeaking away, but it was just incredible. I mean, it was. I've worked for Auburn. I work camera for the video crew on Saturdays for football, and it's exhausting. I go home and I fall asleep immediately. So most of the college football I watched this year was on Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays. Rewatching games and watching them after being recorded because I couldn't watch them live. So, and usually when I tried to, if Auburn had an early game, I would try to catch the late game live, and I'd fall asleep every time because I was just exhausted. The weekend this happened, I wanted to go to sleep. I genuinely wanted to go to sleep, and I just couldn't. I stayed up. I was just entranced because it was 0-0 for so long. And Jalen Hurts, really, that's when he emerged as a great player this year for me, is because he took that game over. Late in the game, he took it over, scored the only touchdown of the game, and really just showed me his maturity on the season. It was just a great, just defensive struggle, and I love a defensive struggle dream job would be a defensive coordinator for me. So a defensive game is just awesome for me. I love it. And I get it's boring, and I understand. I get why people don't like it. I love it, though. And it was what an incredible game on that Saturday. And in a season where we would hope LSU would be more competitive than they were, still to have such a great game. Coach O got that team playing right at the right time, I think. And Alabama never really looked back after that. So, and that was the closest game for Alabama they had to losing, I think. The Ole Miss game, I never really thought they would lose. But the LSU game, I thought they might actually lose this game at times. So that was my game of the year, without a doubt, this year. All right, my next award to be given out is Play of the Year. Think all the way back to Week 2, Oklahoma State, Central Michigan in Oklahoma. Score 24-27, 1 play left. Central Michigan has the ball down by 3 points on their own 45-yard line, and what do? Throw a Hail Mary as far as his arm can throw it. And wide receiver catches it and gets tackled at about the 5-yard line. But just before he's tackled, just throws the ball backwards into their fastest receiver's hands as he runs to the other sideline for the pylon. Scores a touchdown. It beats Oklahoma State on the road. Central Michigan. It's incredible. Watch the play, man. It's stupid. How did he know? Was it planned? I'm watching the play's going right there. I'm watching it right now. And wow. Just, scored 13 points in the fourth quarter to come back and win on the road. A Central Michigan team which nobody knows anything about. If you can tell me that you were expecting Central Michigan to win this game, you're lying. What an incredible win. First off, what an incredible play. And second off, what an incredible win for a program that should not have won that game. Nobody expected them to win that game. Nobody gives them any. It's Central Michigan. Who cares? But for them to go on the road to win, it's awesome. And that is the essence of what makes college football so great and why I love it. Because at any time, at any place, anybody can beat anyone. Any small school can step up and compete with the big boys. That was a small school competing with the big boys, not giving a little tug on the shirt saying we're here, but looking up and punching them right in the mouth. And what an incredible game. What an incredible play. And I loved every second of it. Absolutely every second of it. Wow. Play of the year. Check it off. Week 2. Play of the year. Easy. All right, up next on my list is Best NFL Prospect. And I didn't really know how I felt about this one. There's some names being thrown out there. I'm going to go with my gut. And say Leonard Fournette. In a league where Ezekiel Elliott is just flying through the league in the way he is, and I think I figured out what makes Ezekiel Elliott so good is he hits the line of scrimmage with no fear, and runs. He doesn't dance around the backfield. He just goes as fast as he can. He hits the line so fast, and you don't see that anymore. But Leonard Fournette does it as well, but he does it differently. He knows he's better. And I think that's what it takes to be a running back. You just have to know. You have to have a big ego. You got to know, I'm better than you. I'm bigger than you. I'm stronger than you. Will Leonard Fournette transfer to the NFL? I think so. He was kind of injured this year, so his numbers are a little skewed. I think a little bit was mental as well. When you get injured as a running back, it's difficult to come back to it. It's just a mental game, and it's difficult to come back from it. So I think that he will be fine. He just needs a little bit more time to get back in the swing of things. Leonard, he's an incredible player, and I think he's been NFL ready since high school. He's just a God-given talent, and I think that he will transfer really well. And I'm really excited to see, with Ezekiel Elliott being a rookie this year, doing so well, Leonard Fournette coming the year afterwards. So they're going to go around the same time, be playing generally the same length of career. It'll be interesting to see both of them comparatively throughout their NFL careers, and I'm really excited for that. But Leonard Fournette would be my best NFL prospect as of this year. All right, up next, only 2 awards, this one included, remaining to give out on my college football season. This one would be Coach of the Year. There's some interesting guys could be up there, but I think there is only one. And if you watch or follow college football, I think it's pretty obvious who that is, and that's PJ Fleck at Western Michigan. Hashtag row the boat. Row the boat indeed, PJ Fleck. You have just won Coach of the Year on the Booth Review podcast. What an incredible year. Western Michigan, they don't play too tough of opponents, and it's MAC, not too tough of a conference. But like I said earlier with Alabama, the same credit I give to Alabama as going undefeated on the season, I'm going to give to Western Michigan, because it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter who you play every single week. To go undefeated on a season is hard and difficult and damn near impossible this day and age in college football. So to do it at any level, against any level of competition in any conference, is incredible enough. Nobody does it. Only 2 schools in the entire FBS did it this year, Alabama and Western Michigan. And who thought those 2 teams and schools would be mentioned in the same breath regarding football? But PJ Fleck has got that team playing really well. And I don't know what he plans to do. I know there are some big schools, some names calling, some people calling, and want him to leave Western Michigan to come coach their football team because he is that good. Is he that good? I mean, I don't know. It's a bad conference. And to be a good team in a bad conference, yeah, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Do I think he has opportunity? Without a doubt. Should he go to another level, up a level? I think so, without a doubt. I think all the big coaching spots are filled, and these big schools know that you don't want to get somebody like that. He's just not proven yet. But I look at a school like Purdue. And I think that's a good fit for him. It's not a top-tier school. It's not a bottom-tier school. It's a good stepping stone. And I think he's able to prove himself there. Then I think his opportunities are endless. So I think that would be my gut as to what would happen with him. Of course, Purdue has thrown out Les Miles' name. I don't get that. I think PJ Fleck is a good stepping stone for him, and I think they'd be happy to have him. Of course, he might just be one of those guys who's like, nope, I'm staying here. And I could totally see that happening too. So Coach of the Year, without a doubt, PJ Fleck. The Broncos have a great team, honestly. And I'm excited to see what they do this postseason, because if they win again, who knows, man? Because it's going to be incredible. But row the boat, man. Row the boat. I love it. I love it. All right. It's time for the Carter Gustin Heisman Trophy equivalent Player of the Year. And it was a tough one. Who do I want? Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, Leonard Fournette, Jalen Hurts, nope, none of those guys. I want to go somebody that is not getting any respect, someone who's quietly become one of my favorite players in college football, someone who I think is pro football ready now, NFL ready now. They would have him and they would take him in a heartbeat. And he's getting no respect. So my Player of the Year, off an 8-4 team who quietly had one of the best season I've seen out of a quarterback in a while. Quarterback of the University of North Carolina Tar Heels, Mitch Trubisky, is my Player of the Year. And I can't believe I'm saying that. But I am. Mitch Trubisky is my Player of the Year. Completed the season. 68.9 completion percentage. Close enough to 70 for me to call it 70. 3,400 yards, 408 attempts, 281 completions, 28 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, was sacked 18 times, and had a quarterback rating of 161. I don't know what quarterback rating is, but I know what a good one is, and that is a really good one. On a season, that's really good. And on a team that only went 8-4, all 8 of those wins are credit to him. Now, yeah, they also played in a freaking hurricane this year. So that happened as well. In an ACC that is getting better, it's difficult to win. It's difficult to compete with Clemson, in Louisville, and Florida State, and Miami, kind of. I think he had a great season. He's not getting any respect for it. And to do what he did at such an efficiency rating, absolutely incredible. He's put together a great season. Last season, only throwing 47 passes, completing 40 of them. He had an 85 completion percentage last year. I mean, yeah, he threw less than 50 passes. But still, he's so efficient. He's smart. He's intelligent. I've seen him. I've watched several of their games, so I've watched him play. It's like watching someone who's just smarter than everybody else. It's like watching someone who's smart play Jeopardy against 2 people who have no idea what's going on. He just looks better. He just looks like he's intelligent. So, I mean, imagine me playing Jeopardy against whoever that guy who played a few years ago who broke the record. He's just better. He's just tearing everybody up. And I don't know where that analogy came from, why Jeopardy is stuck in my head, but it is. He just had a great season, and I don't get why he's not getting any respect in a year when Lamar Jackson's going to win the Heisman, or at least I think he will. You asked me a month ago, hands down, he'll win the Heisman, and they just had a bad year. But you have to remember, the Heisman Trophy is not the best player on the best team. You don't have to go undefeated to win the Heisman Trophy. Robert Griffin the third. Now they went what? They had 3 losses on that season, 4 losses on the season. He won the Heisman. It wasn't the best team in the nation, but he was the best player. And I think Lamar Jackson, at the end of the day, will win it. But I don't get why Mitch Trubisky is not getting any respect, because he's an incredible player and he's put together one hell of a season. And if for that matter, more for the fact that he hasn't gotten any respect, I want to give him some respect. Carter Gustin, Booth Review Podcast Player of the Year, Mitch Trubisky, get him some respect. What a year. What a year. So, that is it for the Booth Review Podcast. Take my paper. All my awards have been given out. And I'm just glad to be back. This is something I enjoy. This is something I want to do. Do I know what day of the week I'm going to be doing it on every single week? No. I just wanted to produce something. I wanted to do something, and here it is. So this is me doing it. I'll do it again next week. Who knows? Maybe I'll do it on Wednesday. I'll be at home. I'll be traveling home for the holidays. So I'll be taking my rig with me. Who knows how that's going to go. But I'll be taking as much of this as I can with me so I can do it at home. It's going to be interesting, but I'm just glad to be back. I'm going to do my best to make sure I do this every single week, because it's something that I love, something I really enjoy doing, and I kind of let life get in the way, and I realized I missed it. I missed it a lot. And so I want to get back to doing it consistently and regularly, because I really do love this. And yeah, I'm probably not going to get famous doing it. I want to get a followership, but who knows how long that'll take, and who knows if it will ever even happen. Will I get famous? Will I get rich doing this? No, but I don't care, because I love it. And it's something I really enjoy doing. So I'm going to keep up doing it as best I can. But for my college football awards show, that is it. I will do another one later as it gets closer, doing a college football bowl mania, playoff predictions. I think I know how it's going to go. I think it's all up here. So we will see. But for the Booth Review Podcast, my name is Carter Gustin. You can follow me on Twitter at Carter_Gustin.com. You can keep up with me all over the social medias. I'm always tweeting about things I'm watching and things that make me laugh. Of course, always you're going to get a fair amount of SpongeBob quotes on there as well. But it's a good thing to follow. I will follow you back, I promise. But until then, I'll see you next time. So for the Booth Free Podcast, I am signing off. Take it easy.